Let's talk about some do's and don'ts for shadowboxing. Starting right off at number 1, work both offensive and defensive maneuvers when you're shadowboxing. This is a big one. Don't get stuck in the trap of only throwing offensive maneuvers when you want to practice both so that both come out in your fight. Number 2 is a good sense of opponent. Where is your opponent in your mind? What are you throwing at? Where are you going? What's being thrown back at you? Where are they in the fight? Try to keep that person in front of you in your mind at all times. Number 3 is a simple enough concept, but build good habits. What you do is what's going to come out in your fight. Whatever practices you're putting into place, that's what's going to get stuck in your body and your muscle memory, so build the habits you want right away. Number 4 is add more footwork and head movement into your shadowboxing. It's easy to get stuck in the trap of just staying in one place and throwing directly in front of you, but try to create more angles, try to keep your head off the center line, and again, practice the things that you want to see come out in a fight. Lastly, try to be conscious of some of the things you want to avoid while shadowboxing so as not to make a habit out of them. Let's take a look at a couple. These are some pretty common mistakes when you first start shadowboxing, but try not to pause before you throw a strike or a kick, and try not to drop your hand and forget about your guard when you're going in for an attack. Try to avoid throwing non-stop attacks and totally forgetting about your defense. You're not going to land 100% of your punches all the time. Try not to be too lax when you're shadowboxing. We use this as a warm-up a lot, but this is an opportunity to really practice what you want to see come out in your fight. Fully extend those punches and those kicks and keep your mind in the game the whole time. Try not to shut off after you throw a big combination or a kick as well. Keep in mind, someone's going to fire something back. The name of the game here is countering. After you throw that big kick, after you throw that big combo, is someone coming back at you? Don't bring your chin up, don't break your stance, don't break your guard. That brings us to our sense of opponent. If you throw a big kick and your opponent was in front of you, they're not all of a sudden behind you. You're not doing a multiple opponent attack here. Lastly, don't worry about the time. That round's going to be over when it's over. Just keep your head in the game and keep going until you hear that buzzer. Get after it, y'all.